AI more agentic capabilities.
An AI agent.
Agents.
Agentic workflows.
Agentic.
You all might have heard about AI agents, but it's either too technical or it's too basic. But this is the video that you want, as we are going to talk about from perspective of somebody that doesn't have any technical information and just want to know exactly by examples how to differ from them and how basically get ready for AI agents. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Welcome everyone to the channel, AI Fun Fact for All. For those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Pedram again. I have a PhD in computer science, and in this channel, we talk about AI and machine learning and how we can use it in order to improve our productivity. As we mentioned in this video, I'm going to talk about AI agents. We already have heard about the LLM, basically when you talk to it and then it provides a response to you based on the information that it already have. And now we have seen other capabilities that you can give tool access to it, which basically it goes and search over the internet, so it doesn't have the cutoff information. And after that, we have AI workflows. So AI workflows is when you give some tools beyond some specific information, something proprietary to you or some information related to the test cases that you want, and then you want to ask the question from that. And you might already have heard so many things like RAG and so on that I've already covered them in the previous video. But in this one, we are gonna go beyond that on the third step, which is basically the AI agent. We want to see what is the difference that makes something go from the AI workflow to AI agents and how we can basically reason about this topic. We have the RAG and then we also have React, reasoning prompt and actions. So we're going to see that how all of this will play out with an example. So let's start from level 1. Level 1 is basically large language models. So you basically gonna bring up your favorite large language model, Gemini, GPT, Claude, and then you're gonna ask some question from it and they will provide the response to you. So they're very good in generating responses or doing some specific tasks such as like summarizing or basically finding a specific information within the text that you have shared, and then they provide the response for you. So you have an input, you have the large language model, and then you have your output. So for example, I can say that, okay, draft an email to Elon Husky and say that I want to do a coffee chat. So it will create the response based on the tone that I want and be kind of like related to myself, and it's very nice. But what if I want to ask, when is my next coffee chat? So basically in here, I'm asking something that requires an information that is not available. Some traits of LLM that we definitely need to keep into mind is that yes, LLMs have been trained on vast amount of data, but they obviously have very limited access to proprietary information. So any personal information that you have, the LLM does not necessarily have. And also they are passive, which basically means that you have to first ask the question and then they will try to respond to you. So they cannot be proactive. However, you have seen that OpenAI has tried to do it with some of the users to proactively generate. Now let's move on to AI workflow. So AI workflow, we had the input and then the output and then the LLM in the middle, but then we want to ask something that requires some search inquiry. In this example, we're gonna connect it to our calendar and then it will retrieve the information and it will try to provide. So when is my coffee chat with Elon Husky? Then it's access to my calendar and it says that okay, it's tomorrow at 10 a.m. But it can get trickier because I might ask another follow-up question and say how's the weather like in that day, and then since it only have access to the calendar, it again cannot provide the required information. It will need an access to some weather API or something like that. So basically who will grant access to these APIs is, for example, me, that will come and say that okay, these are the set of tools that you have, now go and grab the relevant information in the form of control logic and then try to give me the information that I want. In that case, then I can basically provide, for example, in a text audio format, and then it provide the response to me.
The weather forecast for seeing Elon Husky is sunny, with a chance of being a good boy.
So the thing that is important is that no matter how many steps do we take and how many interactions with the outside API does it make, it is still considered an AI workflow, because as I mentioned, the one who actually going to create this is me as a human, and will try to give them information. We can move from a LangChain, which is a way to implement the RAG or retrieval augmented generation, and go to LangGraph, which is basically you have access to different nodes. post. And in that, instead of having a streamlined and then a completely basically clear path to go after each node, it can be divided or decisioned via another LLM to decide which nodes to go next. So it is fair to say that a RAG is a type of AI workflow, but how we can move from a RAG and AI workflow to an AI agent requires some sort of decision making that can become from a LLM. Moving on to the third step, which is AI agent itself, we have seen that all of the things that happens in AI workflow has to happen through me, which basically I try to reason and say that, okay, let's compile the links, let's summarize the article, and then after that write the post, and then I will act based on it and say that, okay, let's do some tools. I'm gonna use, for example, an Excel and then Perplexity, and then finally I'm gonna use Claude for the copyright. So what the important thing in here is that what is going to happen in terms of the reasoning is me, and if I want to create an AI agent, I need to be replaced by the AI. So AI need to think and reason what are the things that is required. So it's going to say what is the most efficient way to compile new articles, or should I copy and paste this article into a Word document, or no, it's probably easier to compile links to each article and use the tools to fetch the data. So that make more sense, and then it will try to basically create these reasons and then try to retrieve the specific tools. You're going to give access obviously to some tools. You're going to say, okay, I'm not going to use a Word document, I'm going to use Excel, so I'm going to use worksheet, which basically the customers already have, and then it will go and apply it to the other agents. So it's kind of makes sense to consider the React framework to be a better suit in here, which basically is doing the reasoning and then it's also doing the act, but it's not just limited to React. Now, what will happen in here is that we have compile links, to summarize the link post, and then we have post, and then I have a human which basically try to iterate. I'm going to see that, okay, is this post good or not, and I'm going to change. But what will happen inside the AI agent is that the human now is going to be replaced by AI, and then it's going to do act and use a critic bot, which basically try to see that is the article that is generated kind of aligned with what I want, make sure that it is a good post. So I will create another LLM to critique based on the best practices, or for example something that I want, and then it will do iteration and it will try to provide some feedback, and based on that it will try to generate new posts, and then finally I will get the general output. So the most important thing about the AI agent is the fact that you need to give the capability of making decision to the LLM. Now let's take a look at the real world examples by Andrew and G. In this example, we're going to see that how they're going to use an AI agent inside their vision agent. So inside their landing AI, you will go and search for a skier, and it will try to return some videos that are related, and pay attention that it's not looking based on the subscription or based on the caption of it. And if you go and click on the image, it will look for some highlights that the person is doing a skiing. So it's try to detect that as a skier, and it will try to provide the result to you. So it is very important to understand that there are so many things happening on the back end of it, but what we see in the front end, we see that, oh, there is a skier here, this is the trees, this is the mountains, this is the snow. These are some things that needs to be done and reasoned via the agent and LLM, which will be considered as the reasoning step, and then it will act on it and it will try to generate the response that are aligned to it, and it also provide the highlights related to that. And there you have it, guys. We went over the 3 steps of how to interact with LLM, just purely a chat, and then after that AI workflow, and finally AI agents. We'll look at some real world examples on how to differentiate between them. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, and more importantly, subscribe to the channel so you get more information like this. And if you want to see more videos, I have created this one that I talk about 3 different AI agents that has increased my productivity. Definitely take a look, or you can watch this video that I talk how we can use ChatGPT in order to become an AI agent. Thanks for watching, and see you until the next one.